Hi, and I have some ideas for you today for the letter O. I'm going to do a science experiment for you first, and then we'll talk about some other art and projects that you might want to do to reinforce the letter O. Well, for O is for Olaf. I just took a jar and I'm just going to fill it halfway full with baby oil. So you can shout out when I get halfway full with the baby oil. Almost. I'm gonna keep going. Just shout out when I'm halfway full. Okay. Right there. Oh. Stop right there. Okay. So that's halfway. So let's talk about that. This is the whole jar. Half of it is filled with baby oil and the other half is empty. So I'm going to add some blue food coloring in with the oil. Then I'm going to stir that around. I'm going to put this down for a moment because I have some water here, and I'm going to add some white paint to the water. Okay, I'm going to stir that up. Okay, now watch what happens when I pour this paint and water into the jar. Now, this is not the snowstorm in a jar science experiment, but it is pretty cool. We're going to do something else to make it even cooler, though. All right, so take a look at what's happening here. The water and the paint went to the bottom along with the food coloring, but the oil is up at the top. That's because oil is less dense or lighter than the water and the paint and the food coloring. Okay, so now for the storm in the jar. I'm going to take an Alka-Seltzer. Now, an Alka-Seltzer is something that a grown-up might use for medicine if they have a tummy ache. So it's only for grown-ups, but we're going to use it today for science. So I'm going to take this Alka-Seltzer and put it in the jar, and let's see what happens. Whoa, look at that. Does look like a snowstorm in a jar. So the science behind this is the oil is less dense or lighter than the water. So the water naturally sank to the bottom. But when I put the Alka-Seltzer on the bottom, it pushed the water up, but then the oil is pushing it right back down. So it's like going up and down. The water is falling back down because it's heavy. The Alka-Seltzer is pushing it up, but then it's going right back down and the oil is taking its place. So it's just going back and forth, up and down. And it does look like a pretty cool snowstorm in a jar. So that was our science experiment today. For O is for Olaf. Some other ideas might be to decorate letter O to look kind of like Olaf. I didn't do a great job with that, but I just glued some cotton balls and tried to make a face. Also, we did today a little toilet roll Olaf craft that I found online. I'll try to put the link for that below. And for story time, I suggest the little golden book. It's called I Am Olaf. It's a Disney Frozen little golden book, I Am Olaf. And this one is by Christy Webster. Okay, so hopefully that gives you some ideas for your day if you're doing letter O. Letter O says, ah, and you can watch the Vowel People video and you can learn more about that letter sound. Ah, O has a sore throat and goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, open your mouth and say, ah. So that's what letter O says. Well, hope you have fun and learn a lot, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.